Watching news nowadays has become a bit overwhelming. The moment we turn on any news channels, we are bombarded with the death count of the COVID 19 victims, and the sheer over exaggeration by the hosts will definitely leave you in fear. Fear is a kind of emotion which can make you pity yourself, make you feel dreadful about others, and most importantly, make you feel angry. And the news channels have mastered the skill of instilling fear in their audiences. Whether you agree or not, news channels have been and will keep on pushing government propaganda. It's a simple concept to understand. The ruling party was elected by majority number of votes. If they telecast only the certain hand-picked topics the government has done right, the voter or the audience watching the show feels a sense of accomplishment, as their vote helped to bring about the change. So by not criticizing certain work done by the center, not only the news channel gain more popularity, but also more audience support. And why won't they follow the ruling party's ideology? On doing so, they get promoted fast. Also, if one news channel decides to take a stand against this, the spokesperson of the ruling party might just stop attending the shows, which is really bad for their TRP. So that's bad. Don't do that. And talking about views here, these news channels will go to any lengths measurable to get more views. And as I said earlier, fear is what these news channels capitalize on. So by reporting other countries' military activities, they instill upon the viewer a sense of fear. And not just the news channels, the government is sure to capitalize on this fact too. Now, if they go and make some ridiculous purchases on military equipment, we won't feel the need to criticize their decision, as we have been instilled with this fear. We need to realize this. War is not the solution, and war will never happen in any circumstances. War leads to the downfall of a country. Then why make us fear the threats that are, for most of the time, non existent? Again, the answer is really simple. When a government fails to deliver what they had promised, they need something to cover and distract the population. And that's when this marketing for war starts seeping in, or in certain cases, some other topic. Controversy creates buzz, and when people start talking about some topics, you know they are going to tune in to see what happens. And this may never lead to war, but it still manages to create a sense of unrest among the people. Take the CAA protest, for example, in India. News channels constantly go on and on and on, yapping about democracy and freedom of speech. But when someone opposes their ideology, they are quick to declare them as anti national. How dare they have different political opinions than us? That's crazy. As the Delhi elections approached, the members of the ruling party started giving speeches totally targeting the protesters. There were also some speeches from the protesters' sides too that ignited the feud, and one thing led to another. And before you know, 50 plus people were killed. Killed. What really pissed me off was the fact that people still managed to take sides. The media and the internet were filled by people complaining about the Muslim victims, while others replied by saying the Hindus were killed too. The So you might ask, what is the solution to this? What can be done that will make such reporting stop? The harsh reality is you can't change someone's view. I have seen this a lot. People don't like someone opposing their ideology. And even if you prove them wrong, they are so blinded by their disbeliefs and views, they won't give a fuck about what you say. And these people will keep on watching such filthy news channels. But as individuals and citizens of a democracy, it is our responsibility to form an opinion or a topic while staying neutral. Left and right wing are just concepts that we have created. It's not ideal to be fixated on one side of the political spectrum because there are always multiple solutions to a problem. And besides that, there is no left or right wing in India, period. Now, this is just our political opinion. It's perfectly okay if you call yourself a liberal, a right wing, or anything in between. Your upbringing and exposure to information have shaped your political opinions. But don't forget that everyone has been brought up differently and have their own unique way of looking at problems and people. People will oppose a good policy proposed by the government just because they don't fall under the same political label. It makes more sense to stay neutral over the government's decisions. And at the end of their term, if you don't like their performance, just don't vote for them. This only works when people are willing to consider the work done by the government while keeping their views of the party aside. Socrates hated democracy. He just couldn't wrap his head around the fact that people who don't have the knowledge about how to run a state or are totally uneducated can vote for someone that will be ruling them. That's what's happening in India. But if we manage to outweigh these people, we might just accomplish the unattainable dream of peace.